Is 11.3 homework number 1, and in this video we're going to look at dividing a polynomial by a monomial. So let's look at the steps first, and then we'll look at some examples. First, divide each term in the dividend by the divisor. So let's look at an example of first what a polynomial and a monomial looks like. This is a polynomial, and this is a monomial. Now, a monomial can have a variable. It can be like 2x. It could be just x. But you need to understand the polynomial and monomial. We've already done that particular lesson. Now you need to understand what the dividend and the divisor are, because I'm going to be using these terms a lot. So the dividend is the part before the division symbol. Okay, here's the division symbol here. So the part in front of that is the dividend. The part after that is the divisor. Okay, so we're going to divide each term in the dividend by the divisor. Then we're going to simplify each fraction by reducing the coefficients and subtracting the exponents. Now, remember, we subtract exponents when dividing powers with the same base. All right, so let's look at some examples. All right, so notice we have 20m cubed plus 12m squared minus 4m minus 1. That's the dividend. 4m squared is the divisor. So we're going to write the dividend, 20m squared plus 12m squared minus 4m minus 1. We're going to divide, so we have a fraction bar underneath that polynomial. And then we're going to divide by 4m squared for the first term, the second term, the third term, and the fourth term. So we're dividing each term in that polynomial by 4m squared. So what I'd like to do is show you how to separate that. So I think it's easier if we can separate it into each have 4 fractions. So 20m cubed divided by 4m squared. So the 20 and the 4 both divide by 4. And then m squared and m cubed, we can subtract those exponents and we get m to the first power. Okay, so the first term is 5m over 1, which is just 5m. Okay, now let's look at the second fraction. So this time we have positive 12 divided by 4. So those divide by 4. And we get 3. M squared divided by m squared. That's actually going to divide out and become 1s. So the second term simplifies to positive 3 over 1, which is just positive 3. Then we have negative 4m divided by 4m squared. So the 4's both divide by 4. Those are 1s. M and m squared. When I subtract the exponent on top minus the exponent on bottom, I get m to the negative 1, which means that m to the negative 1 goes to the bottom and becomes m to the positive 1. So on top, I'm left with just a 1. And then the last term is minus 1 over 4m squared. That doesn't reduce anymore. That's just going to stay minus 1 over 4m squared. So the answer is 5m plus 3 minus 1 over m minus 1 over 4m squared. Okay, and that's the answer that's going to go in the blank. All right, so we have 5 more of these. Let's see if we can get it by the time we're done with all 6 problems. All right, so again, we're going to start with the dividend and divide each term by the divisor. So the divisor is 3x to the 4th. All right, so the first fraction, we can reduce the 15 and the 3 by 3. x to the 9th divided by x to the 4th. We're just subtracting 9 minus 4. So that becomes x to the 5th. So our first term reduces or simplifies to 5x to the 5th. Next term, we're going to reduce the 9 and the 3 by 3. And x squared divided by x to the 4th, we're subtracting the exponents, and we get x to the negative 2. Since we get x to the negative 2, that means x to the positive 2 goes to the denominator. And the numerator, I have a 3. So 5x to the 5th minus 3 over x to the 2nd goes in the blank. All right. Number 3. And again, if you need to slow down, just pause the video and write this down. All right, so we have the dividend divided by each term in the divided by the divisor. So we have 4 terms that we're dividing by negative 4x to the 3rd. All right, so the first term, now 8 and negative 4 both divide by negative 4. I want my denominator to be positive. So I'm dividing by negative 4, so that's negative 2 on the top. The x's, subtract the exponent, so 6 minus 3 is x to the positive 3. Since it's positive, it stays in the numerator with the negative 2. Oops. All right, next we have negative 20 divided by negative 4. Again, they're both dividing by negative 4, so that's going to be positive 1 on the bottom, and this is negative 20 divided by negative 4 is positive 5. For the x's, I'm subtracting the exponents, so 5 minus 3 is 2. Since it's positive 2, that means it's in the numerator with the 5x squared. So notice that was positive, because I had a negative divided by a negative, which is a positive 5x squared. So make sure you write that plus 5x squared. All right, next we have positive 7x to the 4th divided by negative 4x to the 3rd. Now, positive 7 and negative 4 do not divide by the same number, besides 1. So this positive divided by this negative makes it minus 7 over 4. And now let's look at the x's. For the x's, the top exponent minus the bottom exponent is positive 1. That means the x to the first stays in the numerator with the 7. All right, and then the last one, negative 16 divided by negative 4. They both divide by negative 4, so that's going to be positive 1. That's going to be positive 4. The x to the thirds basically divide out. They become positive 1s. So I'm multiplying that 1 times positive 4 to get positive 4. So this is the crazy looking answer that's going in that blank. All right, number 4. The dividend divided by the divisor. And each term in the dividend is being divided by that divisor. Okay, so let's reduce. 8 and 40 both divide by 8. T to the 7th divided by t to the 3rd, that's going to be t to the 4th. So my first term is 5 t to the 4th. Second term, well, positive 5 over 8 is just going to stay positive 5 over 8. It doesn't reduce anymore. But t to the 5th divided by t to the 3rd, subtract those exponents, and I get t squared. Now, t squared, since it's a positive exponent, is going to stay in the numerator with the 5. And then last, we have minus 17 t third divided by positive 8 t thirds. Again, that minus sign is going to stay minus sign because I'm dividing by a positive. 17 and 8 do not reduce by any number other than 1. And t to the 3rd divided by t to the 3rd is just 1. So 1 times 17/8 is just going to stay 17/8. Okay. All right, number 5. We're looking at some decimals here. So that means we're not going to have fractional answers, but we're still doing the same process. Take the dividend, divide it by, each term in the dividend is going to be divided by 3x. Okay, so 9x to the third divided by 3x is 3x squared. Negative 2.1 x squared divided by 3x. Okay, so we're dividing the 2.1 divided by the 3. So that's 0.7. And then x squared divided by x is just x. And then the last term, negative 0.9x divided by 3x. Well, the x's are going to cancel out. So negative 0.9 divided by positive 3 is going to be minus 0.3. Okay. All right. Last problem where we're dividing a polynomial by a monomial. Again, write the dividend divided by the divisor. Each term in the dividend is divided by the divisor. All right, so first fraction, and this time we just have multiple variables. So we're doing the same thing. 27 and 9 both divide by 9. And the a's will become a squared, and b squared divided by b is b. So those are all positive exponents whenever I subtract. So they all stay in the numerator with the 3. Next, 9 and 45 both divide by 9. A squared divided by a is a. And the b's are going to cancel out because they're the same b on top as it is on bottom. So this is minus 5a. Last, 36 and 9 both divide by 9. The a's cancel out this time, and b squared divided by b is b to the first. And since it's positive b to the first, that's going to stay in the numerator with the 4. So this answer goes there. Alright, so this is the end of video 1, dividing a polynomial by a monomial. Second video, we're going to look at dividing a polynomial by a binomial.